The biggest mistake a buyer can make is thinking there's one deadline to where it's suddenly too late to back out of buying a home. That's simply not true. If you're buying a home and you're wondering whether you can walk away before closing or not, this video is for you. And if you guess wrong, it could cost you thousands of dollars or for you to walk away from your dream home when you didn't have to. Hi, I'm attorney Kishore Kapoor, a residential real estate closing attorney here in the state of Connecticut. And every day I share real life stories from real closings you can learn from our clients' mistakes and hopefully have a smooth and stress-free closing. So today I'm going to talk about two clients, one who backed out the right way and one who did not. So let's talk about the first client. So we had a buyer buying a $525,000 house. Husband and wife, Joel and Mary. Going through the process, Joel and Mary get their home inspection done. There was a minor window crack, got fixed, seller agreed to fix it. We moved along. The house appraised. The mortgage was not all set, so we needed to file an extension, but the buyer and the seller agreed to a 2-week extension. And unfortunately, in that 2 weeks, Joel lost his job. Now, luckily for Joel, and unluckily, we were still in the mortgage contingency period. And I say unluckily because I don't want anyone to lose their job. So it makes me sad, but at least he didn't lose more and he didn't get himself into deep trouble. So because Joel and Mary had requested an extension and he lost his job in that 2 weeks, the buyer, Joel and Mary, were able to back out of their contract and get their deposit back because they had protected it by extending the mortgage contingency. That was their protection to get through. It worked out. Joel and Mary got their money back. Luckily for Joel and Mary, that didn't end their story. Joel did find a job a month after we closed, better pay, better for his family. And Joel and Mary ended up closing on a $700,000 house in the fall of that same year. So for all those that worry, Joel and Mary ended up working out better for them. The house was much nicer, didn't need any work, and it was in a better location for them. So everything worked out better in their favor. Now let's switch gears to Blake. Blake was a buyer of ours looking to buy a home, and he had put an offer in on a $700,000 house. He put a $7,000 deposit down, and he decided he went to the inspection. The inspection, there were some minor issues, nothing enough that would make Blake want to walk away. But Blake was one of these guys that changed his mind like he changed his clothes. It changed so frequently. And I'm not saying anything bad. It's the truth. Blake will be the first to tell you that he's very wavering in his decisions. So he got past the home inspection. He said everything was good. And then Blake decided he didn't want to live in Connecticut anymore, just at a whim. He wanted to move to Florida. I said, okay, you're under a contract. What do you want to do? He goes, I think I'm just going to back out. I go, Blake, here's the problem. We don't have a ground to back out, right? You were buying this house in cash. Your inspection period was the only time we can get you out of the contract. And he goes, well, see what you can do. I called the seller's attorney and artfully, somehow, I don't really know what I said that made it work, but I got it so Blake didn't lose the full $7,000, but you negotiated with the seller and we split the deposit. Blake was ecstatic because he didn't lose the full $7,000. Seller was ecstatic because they got an extra $3,500, and we moved on. Blake moved to Florida. I don't know what has happened to Blake. I haven't kept in touch with him, but Blake moved to Florida. My understanding is that seller actually sold the property for more money than they listed it and sold it to Blake, so the seller was happy. It all worked out. It does not always work out that way, though. If we pass the extensions, you don't get your deposits back. So if you are thinking about buying a new home and you want somebody on your side so that when things go south, if things go south, I should say, you have somebody in your corner that will fight and have discussions and guide you through the process, give my firm a call. We'll be happy to represent you and make sure that you have, as relatively as possible, a smooth and stress-free closing. So from these two stories, I want to extract five lessons for you. Lesson number one, there is no magic deadline, right? Your rights depend upon the contract. What the contract says is what goes. It's not what you and the seller agree to verbally. It's not the handshake agreement. Once everything's put down on paper, that four corners of that document dictate our rules of how we play the game. Number two, understand your contingencies, right? We have two major contingencies in Connecticut you see will most frequently, inspection and mortgage. We also have something called the Hubbard Clause. I'll explain that in a second. Your home inspection contingency. Hey, if there's something wrong with the house, there's something wrong with the house. You don't have to buy it. Easy. You don't get approved for your mortgage. Again, you didn't get approved for your mortgage. We can't force you to buy the house. As part of that, you'll also see sometimes people add what's called an appraisal rider, which is we won't purchase the house for more than the house appraises, or we'll purchase the house for only $10,000 more than it appraises. I wouldn't call that a separate contingency. I think that falls under the mortgage. The last contingency is that we see often, Hubbard Clause. And this is from an old case back in the day where a gentleman named Hubbard had put an offer in saying it was contingent upon him selling his house to buy the new house. And there's certain rights that come with that. But for the most part, know that the Hubbard Clause protects you in the event that you're trying to sell your house and buy a new house and you can't close, you can still back out, depending on the contingency. Use your attorney. We're there to answer questions. We're there to help you. We're here to help guide you get into situations or get out of situations. And sometimes we can get them out scot-free and sometimes we can't. The last one is timing matters. Don't wait. Call us. Call your realtor. Get us involved. If you're thinking, you're having second thoughts, make sure you get them discussed with. Discuss them with the professionals. And number five, I don't know why I did that, but number five is if you don't have a mortgage approval or you need more time on the home inspection, tell your realtors, we need more time to make a decision so that they can go request an extension or come to your attorney so we can go request that extension, giving you the time you need to make the best decision for you and your family. If you found this information helpful, be sure to give us a follow because every day we share real life stories from real closings so you can have a smooth and hopefully stress-free closing. And based on what you've been watching of ours and just on YouTube in general, YouTube has picked out this video next for you to watch. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of my future videos, be sure to click subscribe.